Now, me de menye Hebrew. But me Hebrew kakra me hia ne say Israel it come from two words. Sa El. Sa El. Eti yawa Sarah El. Ene Sa El. Eti yawa Sarah El. Ene Sa El. Israel. That is my understanding of it. Prince of God, princess of God. That is my Bible interpretation of the word Israel. Eya Isis, Eya Ra, N-L, Isis, Rael, Isis, Ra, N-L. And over the forming the nation of Israel. Israel, or say as a chance prince. There be Israel as a chance prince. There be Israel as a chance as in chance we a prince. Our Bible name people like answer. Okay. Why? Kind Genesis no
32 26
verse 26.
Was it NLC?
NLC. Mamenko.
Na ade eche.
And the angel on Jacob Okono. NLC ade eche. NLC.
Me ma wonko.
I just say Ushirame.
Na okache nse.
And okache nse.
Udin e de say.
And obi say Jacob say. Udin de say.
NLC Jacob.
NLC fe mi Jacob.
Na okase.
And oka say.
One free Udin Jacob bio.
Yen free Udin Jacob bio.
Oba free Israel.
Ye be free Israel.
Ase nse.
Ase ne say.
Onyankopon kufuni.
Onyankopon kufuni. Onyankopon kufuni. Ow. Israel as children and your prince or so waiting Israel as say nyankopon kufuni. People say papa now all Bible money afeni Uriah na David. We need common sense, we need wisdom, we need insight, we need understanding to run a nation. We don't need prayers.
Koteti anchen.
Kompai bokase.
David koteti anchen.
Sufre urade.
Was okwadofo. Koteti anchen.
Wa buan tati anchen.
National kwan.
Na uweni. Twentatiana kwan. Asamando a 16 gates and one Asamando. First gate no angel be go gate na efan Ayakim. Second gate angel be ho yefan Nafta. Third gate angel be ho yefan Kelik ojidi. Ni create theory. Also him too. Wa uchi wa bamu
na won bu abi o.
To be some question.
Na omanum sem so asa.
Wanum nsem so asa.
Na se won kasa bi o.
Na se what want to be some question.
Na wojina ho.
Na
won bu abi o.
Na be some question ti.
Mentwe ana.
Nenu Ghana for me.
Agusia for me chiachia obia mema obia akwaba mesere obaso a she dwumadie no mame obaso na wa she dwumadie no e de amame ene last week mo na mo platform mi so no mo tesa enkene debate bi bebaso between me and Hafiz. Unfortunately and to me amaso due to one or two things idinti and to me amaso entina me wa ha se ye be continue last week program no ame ye no ye ba be continue na yato aso mi program ya me ye no okay me medical kan from the beginning of my teaching say ye boy ye nuanom ama omate niema biase there are some fairy tales ye die wura nkramofuo nimu okay into the topic no have you think about this as a Muslim where your part 2 last one me part 1 and I have his buyer obaya obeka say me nsem a me kan me da no and then mebo videos bi ama wan kasa wo de waso atidi last week in so me wie ye no me the Islamic site bi from Facebook eba beto page hono a your friends say me page hono a na omo kan the same story no me kan ye no no omo kan the same story e wo Facebook wa mind the beauty of Islam. Yeah, omubo Azrael, Mikael, any yes friends say Israfil, Mark angels and omoya mako for NASA Israel. No, the reason why I obey the angel of death no me can last week no Hafiz Buhaliba platform to be catching me say me dana if we say we no as a Muslim one thing that me san kofa me see me lose way. Okay, it is up to you the Muslims and they say mo bedwene ensem no ho akọ kire yie se what that nessa Hafiz Buwali bedina platform so be ka se eye ensem bia me sankofa no kra na mabo metirimu kan na wogi tu mo me sankofa me fa meanwhile within you no we say eye ade a ye de kire mo mosque mo makaranta ye di wurawura mu and remember some videos bia mo watie before se ye be connect topic ne so no medical video be am what ye say ye can the same asem no amekan ye no ano Hafiz buyer obeka chem say me boa no mebo video am what ye me wi a emere be mu a me check web your friends site honom Facebook page na me de to me you hono na ya kenkan na ya hwese ensem no amekan na ho na ko commenta enkremofo na wase ani meki se woti se wo bi ka se nipa na watwere de ato hono wanyan ka because eni nkremoso mu ewo mu you get it ye be bie madwenim okay ye ni kan hwe video area ya to ankomo no so why ye ni kan hwe video area ya to ankomo no so the owner of every soul, no? Okay, Onana eje nipa wu a oje ne kana free ni nsero. Oni mu de nipa wu. Nebom ansa na wo be hu se wo bia wu no. Allah na kunya wo tiso no mu tie story yo. Allah no almighty Allah no na kunya wo tiso no. Diabi asi ena wo Allah no na kunya wo tiso ni sie. Na leaves ya wasu ya no one stand for any life for was asiso. Enti me sankofa me tiai. Me tara eya araba ewu bia so a. Bia no asi na ala ko yesie. Enti ada me mahaban ebe tiato no. Sada no angel of death ebe huru mi tiwo araba ni so. Na obeba se obedi me tara afiri mi sem. Wase ni ni na eya position that angel of death from Ogo. Okay. Yanko Sura 17. Oh, half is boy, made the Lenken to so better. Oh, dear, Minion bet. Mamma Fallen to so. No more question, we sir. And we have Mamma Fallen to so never away. Oh, dear, old man. You will say your position. Over one was share. Over one, you are ready to educate us. You need problem, be a while. Okay, yenya half is one more educated. Now sometimes we need education. Minia.
Yeah, Odimo.
Yeah, me bacho Yamawakwaba.
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
over baby no one your light out into Sumuha. Okay, Mati. Now, I didn't say no, you can add what I was from the Abian.
Oh, Debbie. Mindan so that you
Ghana about 616.
Sama, you obi na send link man, but na me pesa mo. Nti daw ka ayo yung na sa samba ndo sa mafata pata bisa student din. Kun sa hanya sala ses nti ko sala mi bayan ndo se.
Benti mashada nchinsa.
Ada fine ya ko bo adiano onyo bo ko se na hotel se bisa.
Minim se da ya sum na wasuma na se ko fa wen.
Okay, me bacho.
Otimo. After me tunga. Ya ni kati kamenya WhatsApp number 4 on WhatsApp. I don't remember conversation.
Mami office na me WhatsApp line to so me WhatsApp line to so now.
All right.
Mama dey friends why? Asa to me ye program one. Asemu ame na wo kan me pese me na wo kan sa asemu no a na ye nya ne fapping, okay? Enti eni kwa se me na wo kasa na makofa wo yaba na makofa yaba dabi. Ni ame me na wo kan me pese me nya asemu na wo fapping. Simple as that. Enti upa Hafiz me sankofa me throw challenge the amount me sankofa. Me throw challenge the amount. Next Sunday coming, may you free of you men ko baby. One kasa shishe program e wo wa platform so. Mama topic aye be invite me sankofa. Me ba platform so abebu oni mo. That's me. What you say? Me sankofa be Sunday me wo fie. Hafiz me ma o kwan. One kasa shishe program or platform so. For topic bra. Follow me sankofa. Sunday the program never be go anymore so platform. Because the American be American. Thank you for the way you see. Obetumi ama yashi share program or platform so Adoma Sunday. Excellent. So topic I hope say ya. What topic I hope say ya no Fabra. One topic, Minion. One topic. I say I love you, my baby. She said I love the work no more. Topic. Obiama yodi entifano. What you have for flyers never to Nyame Adoma Sunday. You buy your program. Okay.
24 hours later.
Yeah, Mr. Mamon tag is CSF for no. Now, Montag is a two. Montag is a two, mammy. Montag woman. Utimo. And Omarkina Montago. Utimo. And Omarkina Montago.
I say I love you, my baby. She said I love the work no more.
So, for education, inshallah. Yes, I'm so. Otimo, our human 80 or a program. Otimo, oh dear, you better come up, but the American said after end of program now, me know a year, that's a no a debate, it will be a waste of time because we don't know anything about Islam. Okay, I told you, young fat and no Antonum. Now, young
program or platform so Nyame Adoma Sunday.
Excellent. 24 hours later.
After end of program now, no a year, that's a no a debate, it will be a waste of time because we don't know anything about Islam. Okay, I told you, young fat and no Antonum. Now, young Otimo and Omarkina Montago.
Misawa Makwaba once again. Misawa Makwaba once again. Misawa Makwaba once again. Ebusianfo. Meselemo. Livestone was say there is echo in your sound. And I make me kuta phone back who watch it, you know. And no na feedback, you know. Kingsford Mechia man Bailey Livestone Mechia Mama Johnny na Mechia Mo Basso no ma she bi mede dia mama na said the MD ka last week program no am here you know Hafiz Buhari ba platform so be can say as a Muslim baby when you do official word no until say asem ne da enti men sankofa e na me bo mi tirim na me kan nsem bi. What you say? I am a dash on Diana. But medical Kasasem will say, there is no Muslim on the surface of this planet. Last week, I said, I'm a kind of auntie. Meba Mame and share video in a yenti we are yabana topic and as why. Mame share video in a yen had we are yabana topic in this. No, not this one rather. Mama men cover the other one. Why? Not this one. And you win American. Why? Mr. Mama men fa other one American into so. We say yeah, and net program na yeah be no a home video ne da no why? Bet me pese ye tie last week program no me yeah no. Ye tie eno home video e wa hanu say na obia ehun say sankofa no wo me boni trim na kan asem. The walker biano winning. The American of America biano, minimum the American. And main council, no, I don't think it is not this one also. And yet we saying so, okay. And yet we saying so. But oh dear, Mama Yenti when I'm a share back on you, we are now made the no to Timothy Mama Yenti when I'm why.
Please consider donating to help cover our running costs and future projects by visiting www.muslimcentral.com/donate.
Now let us commence from the beginning of creation. Right at the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the pen. And He told the pen, write whatever's going to happen up to the end. That was the instruction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How exactly it happened, we do not need to know. Why do we say we do not need to know? Because there are certain things that our brains and our minds are incapable of understanding. We will never be able to understand. In the same way that the other creatures have a brain according to their capacity, and they feel that they are sophisticated and they feel that they have improved, so does man. Man feels he is so improved and he has eyes. Can you see what we call the unseen? The answer is no. We believe that they are jinn kind. Can we see them? The answer is no. We believe the angels come and go. Can we see them? The answer is no. Which means our eyes are restricted to a restriction placed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there are certain things, if they are not in the Quran, we will not need to know them. If they are not in the correct sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we will not need to know them. However, there are certain narrations known as
was it there are some certain things say any Quran mu anase any hadith mu pa ewu hia say wo mo be prese wo mo be hunu the bacha what ya say okay ye koye ni ne mo beti ensem no awo kana siye afe ye wi a na mabo video na me kana de a kire mo na ya toa ene topic so why
روايات إسرائيلية. The Israeli riwayat. Who is Israel? Israel is the Prophet Jacob, may peace be upon him. He was also known as Israel, Yaqub alayhi salatu wassalam. Now there are narrations that have come to us via the people of the book, more so the Jewish clans and tribes who were there at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and before. So those narrations, how do we treat them? Because we find them, people have read them, and as I said yesterday, there are some similarities between all these revelations. There are three types of these narrations. One, those which the Quran or the Sunnah have negated and disagreed with, those we would throw them out completely. Secondly, those which the Quran has confirmed or the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ has confirmed, those we will take them not because they were found in the riwayat Israeliyah, but because they were found in our narrations and they were found to be in conformance with what the Prophet ﷺ brought. And the third type of narrations are those where the Quran has not said anything, the Sunnah has not said anything about it, it is not negated, nor is it confirmed. For those, we have a policy. We say, لا نصدق ولا نكذب. We neither believe it, nor do we disbelieve it. We hope.
There are some certain narrations neither Quran naka anase wo musunna wo hadith naka, but essence eye wo mu animu therefore na kanti they neither believe it nor reject it. And there are some narrations, there are some stories here. Wamu almost scholars, you know, edi kaino akano. Wama fasa stories, you know, edi aye juma, eye wamu kremo sumuni mu fapim. Ebini niya last week meka ya no. Ebini niya me beka ne nene so di achere no. But as a liar, as Hafiz, what here no, whatever platform is so beka se sankofa, jadi ya woke kanu because enye no krese won kremo sumu. Ale wada so dayana. Meanwhile, when you send your sankofa betna na walk and ya no kre, na se wo bedi tumu a ebe contradict Quran. Mami ka se mchiro. Enkremofo say wo Muhammad anim begu ase de ene nka Allah anim wu ase. There are some and sembi won kremosum ni mu a Quran doesn't agree with it. But once a hadith na Quran doesn't agree with it, you know, they will take what the hadith is saying, and then they will judge what the Quran is saying. You get it? Ya won sembi won krem ya won sembi won kremosum ni mu. There was some practice in B1 Kremosunimu and Kremofo practice. Quran and cancer semono. Quran nema wamo kwai Quran and kani baby. But hadith nakano. Wamu be follow the hadith nakan. Na oma rejected near Quran eka. For example, in the Quran, empire body should be 3 times a day. 3 times a day. But they pray 5 times a day. Quran no enkasa asemono. Hadith ni neka, they follow the hadith and reject the Quran. Enti wamu komsheni ani mbegu ase de. Eni enka wamu Quran ni wamu Allah ani mu ase. Enti wabana wo kan sembia. Obe defend mom ama ne prophet no. Dan so obe defend the ama Allah. Eye these slaves no and aya sadia no. Omo a esomo no. Ayo omo dia, they don't feel shy about their wamu somo no. Everything in Kremosomono, they bring it out. Because either you believe it or you don't believe it. It belongs to them. That slaves for that religion. They are trying so hard to say, Sembi better, but Sembi who are rejecting Sembi. What you said last week, Hafiz Khan was said, say Obiko Mecca. Na okoya rituals bi o wa enkremosomo ne nkaya enya nkremosomo no but enkremosomo no without Mecca enkremosomo ne nyeso. You get it? Without Mecca enkremosomo ne nyeso. Without Saudi Arabia enkremosomo ne nyeso. Enti because of say Mecca na yeso ne fapin no, they all every year bia no omokoho to go and visit their God. And there are so many rituals here more practice here. My video where several times on platform where so through challenge. Nobody comes. Okay? There are a lot of rituals or quiet or mekawa. Maybe no hadith, but or practice or born home. You continue, right?
Hold it, we might read it, it might create a little bit of information in our minds, but we neither believe nor reject it. We do not actually need to know those details. So this is something very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the angels, and then he created the jinn kind. Very interestingly, he created another kind known as the bin kind. Jinn kind, bin kind, okay? Jinn kind, bin kind, and hin kind. All this being, no, and yet Allah ne creative woman, or creative before mankind, okay? And some come away near Babedi, no, maybe be what you be how fair you are, that's your Allah, that your so-called creator is. Hemanim, waha. Hemanim waha. Okay, meba. Me say, Allah created being kind, ye were him kind, ye were jinn before mankind. All this kind, being kind now Allah created. No, I will use this being kind now Allah created to show you how fair you are that your Allah is, and that your Allah can never be the creator, nor can never be God of this world. They can't you know. Meno beko ho meko kofa
almost scholar Ibn Kathir ni book ade abeto platform so me be ken ka ma do so atibi nature how failure that your Allah is. Okay, yento video no so why yento as you we are makobo other one no na fe yaba na topic no so me pese wo disi ba me.
Ibn Kathir rahimahullah makes mention of this in one of his books, Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, which is the book that I've mainly used for this series as well. So he says in there that they
was it that Ibn Kathir book no? Ibn Kathir book no? Okay. Eye buka e no na wono mufti minke o se wan when no e no na wo usually most e de ya ne the teachings wo be obeko bia enti sa Ibn Kathir no oye one of the big scholars and cremofona the whole of the surface of this planet in Ejinidi. Now send me obeka bia and they accept it. It is only the slaves are now omugu Africa no. They will come out and defend it. But these are the books, they follow the books more than the Quran, more than the Hadith. Because there are some narrations in the book, Quran and Hadith in some can, but some books can, almost call us an on semono, almost dictum. It been a last week, me back on her. Half you say me sankofa, me so die now. But I don't get medical can last me catch it say me lose you really. Ono na lose bibi because ono ene won kremosumu ni mu din kremosumu na chi. Ekutan kremosumu ni mu chere. Enti sakoba se ono no be gyina platform yi so ka se nsem wa me kan eni kremosumu. Na se kremofo bi hweme na wo munim se sa nsem we ye ka kire omo wo enkremotumu anase how liars these so-called scholars may say some person who know the definition of a liar. Islamic preacher, Islamic scholar, Imam, as leaders in American Africa because almost so many protecting say no African woman. If you want to know the definition of a liar, men ko Google how ko hwehwe hafi se kira kwan busa ni nsem bi won kremosumu ni mu na wo benya. Okay, yento waso.
There was a certain creature or creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala known as bin, the bin, and they were on the earth. And on the earth, they created chaos and havoc and so on. So Allah sent the jinn to deal with the bin on earth. So the jinn came in and they dealt with the bin and they overcame them and overpowered them and destroyed them completely. And who was the head of the jinn? One known as Iblis. One known as Iblis. So he was very, very proud of his good deed. This is why we say a lesson drawn from this. Whenever you do a good deed, don't let it make you arrogant and think.
Say, ma yanko share the other video no why. Mr. Mo. Mama me kofa the other video ne mra meto so na yen hwe eno. De e kan last week asem na me kan ne ho asem no. Afa mi wi a na yaye. Mi wi a na yakọ ene topic ne so why.
The Bible, such as the Archangel Raphael, who in the book of Tobit defeats the demon Asmodeus and saves the innocent Sarah from his clutches, or the Archangel Uriel, who in the book of Enoch guides Enoch through the layers of heaven, as well as serving as he who ferries the sinners to the lake of fire in the end times. But one archangel that is often overlooked, perhaps because of his ambiguity and lack of reference
in biblical texts, is the Archangel Azrael, the Archangel of Death. Whilst he does appear in some Jewish traditions, the Archangel appears to be most prominent in Islam, where we see him mentioned in Surah 32:11. When we think of archangels, it's easy to consider the likes of Archangel Michael, the warrior angel, who defeated a rebelling Lucifer in Revelations and continued to serve as God's right-hand man. There is also the Archangel Gabriel, the messenger angel, who had important roles such as bringing the news to Mary that she would conceive the baby Jesus. Others may look to those not featured in the Bible, such as the Archangel Raphael, who in the Book of Tobit defeats the demon Asmodeus and saves the innocent Sarah from his clutches, or the Archangel Uriel, who in the Book of Enoch guides Enoch through the layers of heaven, as well as serving as he who ferries the sinners to the lake of fire in the end times. But one archangel that is often overlooked, perhaps because of his ambiguity and lack of reference in biblical texts, is the Archangel Azrael, the Archangel of Death. Whilst he does appear in some Jewish traditions, the Archangel appears to be most prominent in Islam, where we see him mentioned in Surah 30.
Mepacha muntie efri hanu musayi kono mepese mudi masote asabna last week me kan ye no okay Hafiz Buhari be kan say eninkre mosum no mepese mudi masote okay ansani ya connect topic so why enti muntie niye mame
11. Believers are taught that upon their demise, it is the angel of death who will receive them, and that it is his role to take the dead to Allah, whereby man is returned to his creator. The Quran tells us, the angel of death who has been entrusted with you will take you up. Thereafter to your Lord you will be returned. Those of the faith share an idea that when those who have not accepted Allah, or those who have sinned, will end up in Jahannam, or hell. There it is the Archangel of Death who will preside over them, and that when they cry out for help, it is he who they will be met with, whereby he will reaffirm that their place is now here. Azrael does not act independently, however, as you might imagine, but instead is instructed by Allah of whose soul to take when their time is at an end. According to one tradition, Allah severs a leaf from a tree below the heavenly throne, 40 days before the death of a particular person. Here the name of the person is written on the leaf, whereby the Archangel Azrael collects the leaf and learns the identity of who he will be claiming. Other ideas within the Quran suggest that there is more than one angel of death, perhaps even a whole host of them, according to some exegesis, of which some serve Azrael and aid him in his duties. The name Azrael, however, is a bit of a mystery, for it does not explicitly appear in the Quran. The name appears to be of Hebraic origin, given the suffix of El, a trend we see common in the other archangels. There are also what some might call incantation texts that have since been unearthed from various settlements in Mesopotamia that appear to confirm the presence of the name Azrael. However, the context of his role as the Angel of Death is not determined, and it is unclear whether this notion came about prior to the inception of Islam or after. The name nonetheless became popular in both Hebraic and Islamic writings, as well as possibly being adopted into Arabian culture amongst the jinn. The Ethiopic version of the Apocalypse of Peter, meanwhile, a 2nd century apocalyptic piece of literature, details an entity known as Ezrael, which, as you can see, has some phonetic similarities. But instead of being an angel of death, this Ezrael appears to be an angel of vengeance, one who delivers punishment on those who have wronged others. But indeed,
according to that Islamic traditions, they believe they have in it. That is that angel of death. He was not created as an angel of death, but he was created as an angel of vengeance. So we are born here, okay? Now he was created like that. Now, obey the angel of death. This story, one of the most popular story in Islamic belief. Every Muslim on the surface of this planet know this story. Okay? How did that the angel now I the angel of vengeance, or better than the angel of death?
He appears to be predominantly a character associated with Islam, and is recognized as one of the 4 major archangels alongside Jibreel, Mikael, and Israfil. In another narrative, Allah once ordered his angels to collect the dust for him so that he could make Adam,
book na wo kai free so no me pam cho e na da ni no so mo enti wo kai free book mu nya se bia wo gba ni tirimu na aka o ye wo hu book na those books no enhye da nya common sa won sa beka what you say enhye da nya common enti book no de wo ka bia ni wo book na eda ni ni so no de wo ka bia wo was it but indeed he appears to predominantly to be a character associated with Islam and recognized as one of the 4 major archangels alongside Jibril, Mikael, and Israfil. Okay, and they all can or kind and yes, be oboni tribunaka. What the end was why?
The first man. But it was only Azrael who was able to secure the right amount for him, and thus he became the angel concerning the life and death of humankind. In ideas like this, Azrael becomes much less of a foreboding figure than his name suggests, and whilst in some ideas he is a merciless angel that stands watch over those in Jahannam, he is also benevolent in that he ferries souls of the righteous to paradise. In a similar belief, Azrael was said to be the only angel brave enough to face the hordes of Iblis, the devil, on earth, and that it was here he retrieved the dust and the necessary materials that would be used in the making of Adam. I suppose, though, one might say he does.
So that the angel of death, he was bold enough to come on earth to collect the dust to create Adam. He came down on earth to fight their friends, Iblis. Okay, to fight Iblis to collect the dust to that dust now already be creating Adam. Is it not the same story I said last week ago? Last week, and yeah, Sasam one on the kind of platform is half his bad platform so back at him say a dinklemo baby. Now no baby. When you know do one cremosumu ya, what by your scholar one cremosumu on teda? The Pachamati said, and the same story, Mammy come a chica caname, necessity, why? 13 years.
In a similar belief, Azrael was said to be the only angel brave enough to face the hordes of Iblis, the devil, on earth, and that it was here he retrieved the dust and the necessary materials that would be used in the making of Adam. I suppose, though, one might say he does take on the appearance of a most tremendous and somewhat foreboding character. He's often described as having 4 faces, a total of 4,000 wings, and 70,000 feet. Other descriptions tell of him being made up of eyes and tongues, and that the number of eyes and
YouTube. Videos, video na me no. Sansa moya guy me kan nyina me kan o video ni mo, me kan nyina o video ni. Half is one thing that. Yo.
And tongues are so many that they equate to the number of men who are currently alive in the world. In some depictions, he is seen to be wearing a creamy white robe, so as to indicate his allegiance to the Most High God.
Baby, and that angel of death, okay, that angel of death, that angel of death, Obasasi, so before say Allah ever created Adam, na Iblis was asasi so dada, na Iblis ayasu dene was asasi so dada, na Iblis any Allah and tam engo dada, eti abera wo be created Adam, na ope abofo mama ba asasi ope bofo na ba asasi so be fan ne tie de abere no e de create Adam obi aba na Iblis no ene ne dom afight wo mu na omuntumi no wo mko be bata what ya say later than nasa angel na we the angel of vengeance no onu mom no ka say yes I will go onu mom ne tumi ba be fight Iblis ne dom efa na tie de koma ala man di create Adam. And Busa say, if Sena Adam, your friend say, Iblis, one Alan Tamu, Ntawantawa ho, and a Tiakura Obefa, na Odiakobo Adam no, Eyen Tokwa, not the same Iblis Corona in the Quran. Allah ebo Adam na what hodi. Wait, ena adia will not have his net na se gino who said there be. Se mama me tantra fan to sankofa so. Obeme million mu ni bi enya bo mo so. E wo se me ba na me be di atro de kire no. Me be kan sam e wo video nim. E de convince million mu bi. Emu mo say yes still and kremosomo no na correct masa wow ya be call topic ni so now mama kofa book we na yen kenkan ye kofa omo one of omo big scholars ni book ba kwa be kenkan ye bia ye wi e betie sa asem we say ho so video every omo scholars ni bi wo YouTube now they was what okay ye kofa even wow mayi adie ye free so e pam cho me ye me pam cho me say bie book no why na ma share no so me sere mo pam cho makwaya mania ma me di good screen ani ni nyina say free so okay me ye no fast no so ma me ko share okay every man is to men can okay o dia mommy and continue video we no mama yen continue video we me wia na ye my mistake pa clear me ni nyina free as e free ni o how they say mama ko he say me sabe kan o ha okay e wo ha e wo ha wala me pa che e kutu no me pam chao ene gusu no hu eni ene daso no okay ye be kenkai where ye chapter mention of the creation of the jinn and the story of Satan. Me pam chao matias ye me sa abo chapter ni din da cherem a chapter mention of the creation of jinn and the story of Satan. Me pacha ma me fanko app na hu se eye omo book ni bi omo source ni bi na me kai why aha ma me emfa wonko chi ne ko hanza we ya ibin cattle ibin cattle any said omo se kan no ni book no why aha ntino ma me ma won hwe no ha se hanza me bam choba hu enie ibin cattle early day stories of the beginning of creation and the early prophet from Adam to Yunus. And the book we say no kenkaya sankofo ni nyina na all these stories ni nyina na ubenya ni nyina wo say book ni ubenya ni nyina wo book ni okay aha na yanko back na yanko hwe de me yanko kan de me pen why yanko back na me ko fa de me pen 119 rather okay if I say you know they are 219 220 there be 119 rather okay 119 120 okay 119 any any why any it was said the chapter mention of the creation of the jinn and the story of Satan, and it was said Allah Most High says he created man Adam from sounding clay like the clay of pottery, okay, pottery, and the jinn did he created from a smokeless flame of fire. Then which of the blessings of your Lord will you both jinn and men deny? That is Quran Surah 55, ayat number 14 to 16. He Most High says, and indeed we created man from sounding clay of altar black smooth mood, and jinn we created aforetime from the smokeless flame of fire. Surah 15, ayat number 28 to 27. Okay, go up. What's it? Abdullah ibn Abbas, Iklima, Mujahid, Al-Hassan, and a number of others said that the meaning of the words of Allah Most High from a smokeless flame of fire, Surah Rahman 55:15, is from a tip of the flame, or another narration from a purest and the best of it. We have mentioned previous by way of as Zuri, okay, as Huri, on the authority of blah blah blah. Yanko 20 no, Yanko 120 no. Okay, no, the way say sinan into us na what you say. Okay, well, see, we mentioned previously by way of as Zuri, okay, on the authority of Urwa, who reported on the authority of Aisha that she said the messenger of Allah said the angels were created from light. The jinn were created from smokeless fire, and Adam was created from what has described in the Quran to you. For example, clay. Many of these scholars of Tafsir said that the jinn were created before Adam. The jinn were created before Adam, and that the being lived in the earth before mankind, and Allah sent the jinn against them, and they killed them, drove them out of it, and exterminated them, and they inhabited it after them because of what they had done. And Kramofono would be said before say Allah ever created Adam no. Na yawo abodie bi was asasiania ye fra wo being and him. Okay, now omo dwumadi a omo bedi no was asasiani say omo betena asasi su bedi bone. This is the first time Allah aferi Allah created abodie bi do omo betena asasi so am omo besom ono Allah, not knowing say abodie na obo omo no. They were coming to sin against themselves and against that Allah. Na Allah nim sesana beba. And now board the him and the being and were creating and as creations were no okay. That be when the betterness as soon woman be cause corruption, be share blood. Woman be all sort of things and just sin against Allah. And Allah nothing as it was and yes, I'm for Medi. And yet, Mamin created another being for that being to go and destroy, the being of assassin. That is the being and the him. Mamin created another creation. Na oma pam womo fra asase ani. Na omuni mama betena asase so betena asase so na omo aye ne some alani. And I will create jinn. Created jinn, and from being he no obe created jinn, and that jinn ne ba ya no omo be say that being and he na omo assassin na omo cause corruption no omo be say omo be kunkum wo nyina fra asase ani and what they assassin no eye wiase ya yete so no share jinn no what they share wo monsa na the same jinn no so omo so ye mistake omo so ye hey Allah is the one of the most creator ya kremu a oye failure e wo wiase yento aso. Okay, was many of the scholars have said that the jinn were created before Adam and that the him and the being lived in the earth, okay, before mankind, and Allah sent the jinn against them and they killed them, drove them out of it and exterminated them, and they inhabited it after them because of what they had done. As Zudi said in his tafsir, on the authority of Abdullah ibn Abbas, on the authority of Mura, who reported on the authority of Abdullah ibn Masud, and on the authority of some of the companions of the Messenger of Allah, that they said that when Allah had complete the creation as he would, he ascended Istawa over the throne and he appointed Iblis over the dominion of the earth, heaven. He belongs to the tribe of the angels known as the jinn. Enti abira Allah ewunu say bin any him edin sanfun was asisi no and I will create jinn. Enti that jinn no niana oyi wo mu leader no eye Iblis. Enti wasuma the jinn no ma omo ba asasi so be kunkum. Your friend say the being and the him no e was asasi ani. And now Iblis in Wayano, the leader or appointing as the leader of all jinn. Okay? And to what the assassin be sharing, sir. I was assassin. Now, Yantuasu. Okay. Was say over the throne, and he appointed Iblis over the dominion of the earthly heaven. He belongs to a tribe of the angel known as jinn. They were called the jinn because they were guardians of Al-Jannah, paradise. And to that jinn, no, okay, they were created as the guardians. Abadia Allah nebo omo guided Jannah, omo guarded heaven. And they were created as bodyguards. Now omo guarded heaven. And you have omo strong pa. And tina omo bas as omo tumbe too. That two beings nan one was as you know, the being and the he nifras as you know. Okay. They were called jinn because they were the guardians of Al-Jannah, paradise. In addition to this, to his dominion of the earthly heaven, Iblis was a guardian. Okay. Iblis was a guardian. Idea grew in his heart that Allah has favored only him above all the angels. Okay, and that mentioned on the authority of Abdullah ibn Abbas that when the jinn caused corruption, the second time jinn no answer cause corruption. On the second time, the jinn has also caused corruption. Now, was it on the authority of Abdullah ibn Abbas that when the jinn caused corruption, if the earth committed bloodshed, Allah sent Iblis against them with an army of angels, and they killed them and expelled them from the land to Iceland in the sea. Enti abira jinn no omonso ekoso corruption. First time Allah created him being no we said omo babe koso corruption wa created omo koso corruption and we ye and was there be mamen pa body afufra omo be kwakotu sa the hin and the being efra asase ani na me de asase na hye wo nsa and na o created another being na ye fra omo jinn. Okay, jinn na omo leader no wo mo no and na ye fra Iblis. Enti wama Iblis ka ne nkyai eye bodyguard wo heaven ho and na wo soma wo moma wo kwa ni wo kotu wo mase and na omo so betena asase so no the same thing wo mo so be until the second time Allah fairy wa create jinn not knowing we say omo so be ba cause corruption enti omo so be cause corruption no and na Allah soma Iblis any some of above one bi e time omo ba asase so ena omo nso obekunkum omo efra asase ani second time on ala dia feri no okay yento aso na yen hade or say and Allah sent Iblis against them with an army of angels and they killed them and expelled them from the land to Iceland in the sea. Enti omo kunkum bi ena bi mo nso omo pam wo ma omo kwatena island so okay eno ntina ubekoma yese abotan so no bone wo Muhammad ibn Ishaq reported on the authority of Abdullah ibn Abbas that he said that the name of Iblis before he committed the act of disobedience to Allah was Azazel, okay? And he was one of the inhabitants of the earth and one of the strongest of the angels in formulating legal judgment and he was talking reference in the word, okay? Reference in here, narrated by Sahih Muslim, book number 2996. Another one, Imam Ahmed, book number 28F826. Him, the weakest and the lowest of the jinn. And you walk in Kaya, and now got type who say Kuranoa on Sabbath to me account. Okay, now once why your reference. And the first time, Allah fairy, the second time was fairly okay. Was say Yantuaso Kakremia, my baba, my was it Azazel, and he was one of the inhabitants of earth and one of the strongest of the angels in formulating legal judgment and into a swallow and the greatest of them in marriage into above one mono the group of that above one na Iblis wayen kophobia ne ho waye ndibia na ne ho odene wani matemwo ena na wo sa wanimudie e wo abo aisa gyen ni nyina mu enti wo se Al-Hasan al-Basri said he was not of the angel for even the blink of an eye. His origin was the jinn, just as Adam. Okay? Enti that Iblis, na onye sura above one, ka above one. He was not created as an angel, but rather he was created as a jinn. Na eye position na Allah de man. Enti no oye den ontumene above one yepe. It said ye Allah created Adam na oye human being, and I said oye mankind, and oye the beginner of mankind, the same thing, and that Iblis one also a jinn kind, not on your part of the angels. Okay. And you was Al-Hasan al-Basri said he was not of the angels for even the blink of an eye. His origin was the jinn, just as Adam origin was human. Shah ibn Hawshab and the other said that Iblis was of the jinn whom the angels expelled, and they captured some of them and took them to heaven. Okay, this was narrated by Ibn Jarir at-Tabari. And this scholar also said Iblis, he was captured. Iblis was captured by some Iblis. Mame and Cassadi Beya Menkadieni. Was it his origin was jinn, just as Adam, and just as Adam, origin was human. Shahar Diaben Ibn Hawshab and others said that Iblis was of the jinn, whom the angels expelled. Okay, the angels expelled above one pamon. Okay, and they captured some of them and took them to heaven. And now why a group one now can jinn no almost corruption. Just and some nankasana or one kasan cano. Umunum miti, umunum no con. When's a wamu kumwa? Wamu scholars are Cassian de church. Okay, enti. What the end to us? Say Iblis was of the jinn whom the angels expelled, and they captured some of them and took them to heaven. This was narrated by Ibn Jarir At-Tabari, okay, they said, book no dia emu nsam no wa pa story we na wa kase ka ewi. But see, they said that when Allah willed to create Adam in order that he might be on earth, okay, along with his progeny who came after him and created his body from it, Iblis, who name at that time was Azazel, okay, and who was the leader of the jinn and the most fervent of them in worshiping Allah, went around and inside his body, and when he found that it was hollow, he realized that he was a creation who could not be controlled, and he said, if I gain mastery over you, I will certainly destroy you. But if you gain mastery over me, okay, I will disobey you. There's a challenge in one Allah. Then when Allah blew into him of his spirit, as we shall see, and commanded the angel to prostrate before him. Okay. And we say so say, Abra Allah create Adam no body need a hono. Before say Allah blow ne one fan humi engu body ni mono. Ena Iblis eko wura body nim. Ena wo hunu say we very powerful and I say we abodie bia wo dimuche abodie na Allah abono. Ena wone body ni through challenge. Wa bra na Allah enyamfa ne humi engu body nim. Yemfa no nto nche. Enya no ne hiame. The hiame ye failure Allah afeli na me pesa me ba na me betrew. The first time we create being, create him. And that being and him no, they cause corruption. Okay? They cause corruption. And Allah not knowing said they will cause corruption. And Allah create create wa mudu begu asase ni. Later than Allah realize say abodi oyama create wa mugu asase ni no omo ye very bad. Ni omo ye na anu den. Enti ade na waseme ye. E waseme pe abodi afoforo. Edom kogu asase so. Na sa abodi ni kotu sa abodi we mu fra asase ni. E na wo create. E na wo create the jinn. The jinn. Okay, we create jinn. It will create jinn new year, you know. I was saying for Pamicho me about. Everybody said. We create jinn new year, you know, huh? I remember I say. We create jinn new year, you know. And now jinn now we create a group of jinn now create, you know. We back woman your friend Iblis. And now the leader now wo jinn ni mono o ma ne tena ne nchei. Okay, and now so mo makama o mu betu. Abodie na o mo cause corruption wa asase ani no efri so. And o mo be pam o mo. And now that o mo be pam first group ne eba ya ne betena asase so. O mo so be pray the same act. Causing corruption, sharing blood, disaster. Any idea now o mo ya na asase ani. And the second time, Sir Abadiana Allah created Omo in order to come and drove that the first group to replace them. Now Omo Bayani Yasano, Omo Bayano, the same thing Omo Sobe, and Allah Coco Paye. Nico Payano, Edian Waye, and Wasuma above for Eka Ibris Uma Mobile, and a Sajin in Omuas Assisino Omudi Sans and Fono, Omaye Beku Womina. And what Pamo do one every assassin, Edwom Kogu, baby. And now what they assassino, Eshe Ibris inside. Now, the third time, Allah ever created Adam. Aha, and I can who ye as a Muslim. Allah ever created Adam. And I will catch an above one said, me be created another your friend said, being at the Nakotnas assassin. Assassins to take dominion over assassin. Tie nyansasema abofo ni busa Allah. And Musa say Na papa we bibi hanana. First one, what created a group of him, a group of being. Oma kwatena asase so. Oma kodi bone. And later then, who created gene? And omu kwapam wo mu fra asase ani. Omu nso kwa ya ni the same bone corona no omu kwoto aso. And now we are na obi abofo kwapam. Sa gene ni fra asase ni na ade asase na hye ibris nsa. Wo se wo sa be create another being be asade na kwatena asase so until Allah dia wo ye wonim se wo ye ade a emfa kwan because who shall be creating a body and they will cause corruption, they will shed blood. Allah say mon come on mon shut up. Dear me minimum no nyana na munim. Yan ko en wo Quran ma me fa verse into Quran surah 30. Pamcho me ba why? Quran surah 30 pamcho okay baby. Quran wow yeah. I'm in search for no, Quran Surah 2 rather, not 30, me pamchao. Quran Surah 2, ayat number 30. Okay. Me biena me dia toso. Na afe kura na me mati di entia. Abofo ni ebusa ala this question no. Okay. Afe na mati di entia abofo ni busa ala this question. Quran Surah 2, ayat number 30. Okay. Mama fem free 29. Okay, mama fem free 29. Mama mra me share no screen so preku. Na ye hwe bi. Why? Mama share no screen so. Mama share no screen so. Pamcho Quran Surah 2 ayat number 29 ye carefree 29 dia kosi 30 why nti mo ma me mbiem kase na mu ye carefree 29 dia kosi 30 was say it is he who created for you all of that which is on the earth, then he directed himself to the heaven. He directed himself to the heaven. Okay, he's been above all creations and made them seventh heaven. Okay, and he is knowing of all things. 30. That's more coming back. Number 30 was it and mentioned, oh, Muhammad, when your Lord said to the angels, indeed, I will make upon earth, okay, I will make upon earth a successive authority. They said, will you place upon it one who caused corruption therein? Question now, no. And today, idea si pain, idea si pain. Allah ya try first one, waferi. Wa try second one, waferi. Wa be try third one. And above one ni busa ni say krache. Ma ye busa unyansa same way na wani mra wo so. Because what your first one waferi, why your second one waferi, also be the third one. And you wouldn't yes yourself will be fairy ana. Will you praise upon it one who caused corruption therein and shed blood? What we declare your praise and sanctify you? Allah said, indeed, I know that which you do not know. Allah said, indeed, you know that which was it. Allah said, indeed, I know that which you do not know. Huh? You get it? Allah said, indeed, I know that which you do not know. Enti, abofo nimpo na omunim da cheche Allah. Na abofo nimu de Allah ebeye. Because Allah dika your first one waferi. Why your second one waferi? Was a third one above se masa jansan phone no wood in what because why a first one waferi why a second one waferi ye no de no ne wa wonim said ye suban tie ye no na akwa na eba ye sori a ye somo ye tontomo ye bibia de mount wonim ye say ye de sa suban ye nimu bi enti so person wodi wiase mhye obi nsa adenti na won fama ye na wo sa co create another creations a wo mo be cause corruption. Now I must share blood and to Abubusa Allah that question because now they knew what Allah was going to create. Allah said, "Mon shut up. Mon nim nieme baba ye. Timon shut up." And we say, "Bo, what can I take? No one can one tum." And we must share Allah. And Allah continue on within in some form or find the next year what He created Adam. Na obo Adam we na na corruption no start you. Ba me just am tell me say obo Adam we no in the Quran na corruption start ye. Se woni mo ma me tell. Wo verse number 31 ho na. Se woni mo ma me tell. Why? Enti enie obo Adam we abofo na busa wo question. Obo Adam we wo se mo nka mo ntu na mo mfuru onko. Dia me no enya no na munim te mon kama no ntu na mfiri wonko ene wo mko ma no tum no wo hene no wo create ye wo create Adam no ho na Allah de corruption wo kire Adam said yesi corrupt yesi ye corruption yesi eye eniema bi a yemfa the right way was and he taught Adam the names of all them. Then he showed them to the angel and said, "Inform me." Okay, because what person what chile say, what no need to dache the chair above one inti. Said Yabeya, Obama above one who say, when you with your own be creating, what more Adam we know, and a man fan said, what farm pabwa, and what far contain, and what far a bro, and what farm catie, and what is Sanyama way portrait Adam, and what was Sanyama in what the chair Adam. We are no lead Adam, what didn't call above one and was here more. Some challenge me. Some ya no quafua and Yamaya Kutamino, Momo in Edin Cherame. And one was bo yet your nimby, you say, okay, what your mammy kind for more. Ha, mammy kind for more. Was it and he taught, and he, Allah, okay, taught Adam the names. All of them. Then he showed them to the angels and said, "Inform me of the names of these if you are truthful." They said, "Exalted are you. We have no knowledge except what you have taught us. Indeed, it is you who is knowing the wise." Okay. This any wo watchre ye no eno na yenim etiniama wodi betre ye no yenim ho asem bia wo na wo nim de wo ho na any owi na ofre Adam. Okay, 33 was he said to Adam, "Inform them of all their names." And when he had informed them of their names, he said, "Did I not tell you that I know the unseen aspect of heavens and the earth? And I know what you revealed and what you have concealed." Okay, and mention when we said to the angels, "Prostrate before Adam," and to who Allah, who we are Iblis on. Sasem we say on. What we believe be a ube bu Iblis for Sasem we say mono. Not one minute as a one country. Because Iblis never knew near Allah ebeye. Na above one suni near Allah ebeye because why first one was fairy, why second one was fairy, why third one who saying because somebody say Allah don't know the future. Allah is not all knowing. Allah is not all wise. All these attributes of names now Allah. Let me tell you guys. Hey, the names all know. Then there are some attributes of names Allah. Allah is all knowing. Allah is all wise. Allah is most intelligent in the account. I tell you, all this name, it doesn't fit Allah. Because even the angels, they know future more than Allah. asasi so they predicted the almost catch Allah straight say cracking idea wo ye no because what the kind of first one what fairy why a second one what fairy third one ya wo be ye no one yes sure say who be created those or who be cause corruption no ma share blood e was asase so ana was here won shut up that one come on ntum ni eminim no nya no na moni be pam taw abofo le question no mo busa ye no ye nipa ya was asase so no black sharing koso corruption in koso ana disasters na koso no if Allah is all knowing all wise and all intelligent now our creative first one we ma cause corruption disaster share blood was him pe sabra bono was asase so but me create another kind of be kwa akopam sankofo na omo cause all this corruption was asase ani na free wo na omo akotena se na omo ya ne so me ala ni no create another kind woman so buy no woman so abepam we mo free or first one free one woman second one try no woman so about the same abrabo no and Allah abepam we mo free asase so bio and what the mankind what the ba no yen so ne ba no wonim say ye beba be boss abra no Allah wonim ka won create ye hey mama ka tira winia wo ye kremonia woni abra wo a and Kremosum, what you say, and only small, and yet the best religion was as my country, you Allah doesn't know anything. He can never be the creator, and he can never be they can say, want to me yet the first creator, the second year, they need two creations, you know. Say creation, you know, you walk. One more they need the money, the monkey, the Allah back to last batch one, because one of the when you fail than the God of the Bible. Where you feel you are, at the side. Example, be Koran men famo. Men fan say, me kwa kotoka. Okay. First car me koto ye no. Me nim se car no. That company na ye car no. Car ni ya ho de. Okay. E na me koto e matis car kotoka na boarding. Na me de car ne ba ancha na car ne say ye. And I'm the same company no asaya another car. Me peka fufurata man koto car fufuro another company mu. And at the same company no na sa koto car. And also me to ye no and ten na car sa say ye. And you susu say that company ni say the third car me sankofa metis car koto. There be me try another company. And as a company me nim say omo wo ha woman niema eye very strong. Na auto eche no woman chen me kwa koto bi. Because of say Allah wo bo abodie bi a wonim abodie ne da chinti. E na wo bo first group e ma mo be cause corruption. Second group ma mo be cause corruption. Third group ye ba ya yanso ye cause corruption. E na wo say what ho. Allah no that God na wa fairy tale time no. Wo kuro bi wo soro ho. Our mad that be or be found. I'm walking my 72. And Tibris say, Cratch it. Mean answer for no, because they are at the wire. A body in our bone. May you far better than no. How? And Argentina may make to a sorry, sa body or your bono. War alarm, Cassa would name said that to obey a bonnet. Name Ibris, Minimus to obey a bon, Namako, sorry, the men, yes, I didn't. Men koton sore no ala munyo na tikokun wase die benti na Iblis aya so de atia no what did home and so a story as a Muslim what penyo me pacha what did home a story as a Muslim ya de atitew e wo nkora brem ya kire wo makaranta ye gusu di ye wazi di kire wo asore dem wo maski ho ye da so de ade ne ye wazi di kire wo what in home say Allah before Adam wo di ka create being bi wo mo ye being wo mo di na being and him wo mo betena asasi so Allah created you for a purpose. Omo ba ya no. Enye Allah purpose no na be mu. Enye Allah tribu power di create you omo no e na be mu because me nye sure say Allah creative or musa mo maintenance as ye na mo make cause corruption or mo share blood or mo disasters e me ye duma was as so me sure say e botaya Allah di creative or no okay and na sadie ni see ye essence enye Allah ni tirimu pa wadi creative or mo nti no se da bi e was say me pam wo mu fira asase ni eni kwase me wo motena so no mu diboni eyimi yehi enti kombe me fa so me pam wo mu ma me nsoma another group of kind be na omo nso enko drive omo away from the surface of the planet and na o create gene and omo buy no omo be pam the him and the beam efras asye ni omo be pam wo na omo betena asase so ya ne pe and omo so start here corruption, blood sharing, disasters, and a year, Duma. A lot was I was and to myself very second time. Oh, where dear Yen we are seeing mammy. And yet, Ibris, why, Ibris, Ibra, Mikael, Israfil, Mombra, Monfa both only been come on among Quasas, so Messeremo, Sajin no, was as no, Munkokum, and Amopamo, Mufras as Yen. Now, myself very second time. Ena Ibris abofo ni bi kan ho no mo bae ena mo ba ye aduma na ala hwehwe ni pepepe de ma o e ma no ala ti ho sa na wasa sore no afre na abofo mo we mo mera Mikael Israfil mo mera Ibris ya friend say Jibiri mo mera na me sabe create another kind man another being do ma kotena asase nani se ma kotu gin no every asase ani dia e wo se menya an wo mo se krate jai se munu na wo be die ne ya pa chewo se wo po bia ma na kotena asase nani a ye pa chewo ye wo ha we me ye said ye tie we worship you, we praise you, we do everything that we want for you. When you said ye sit here and this office I will pay will be a man kotena asase nani a fashion and sunny and cotton because near will be creating it's either they will share blood and cause corruption. And yes, they will not do anything better. Alas, hey, come on, when you say you lead down, I know what you guys don't know. Quran Surah 2, ayat number 29, 30 coming down, Kenkai 29, 30, 31, Uba una sama mekano. Mediatus is here. And I bought for and say, wow, yet, you're by why? Yet, ye knew the obey, ye knew ye knew the obey, the obey, and so sad, babem. It is also ye knew the obey. Now, ye leader, wash out here down, go on, do whatever you want. And our father, Netian, what they bought Adam. Or bought Adam, we, and was actually Adam didn't coach it to Kurubimu. No, of course, or coffee, and near Mamma, come, bear 4 beers, and they don't said ye tibia. No, a boy didn't chere Adam, and was a made oh come for your own so ever above on any. Also, my boy didn't the actual ye qua. And Dino said your messy abu watcher on Bubo didn't sap pepe. Me quiet me who said ye, men can't change on above one any. Member what Bubo did natural above one. Who we are, Mamma above one cotoa sorry on Adam 3 die. No dinner cheap. No coin was a Momera, Mikael, Jibri. Israfil, enamo amoke kan no momra samo say me nim bibia momra eni amani nie mombo ni din kire me de na me si mi be creating won agina ma creating awie okay enti niama we say no se munni mo dia mombo din fa kire omo si bo e de eni mo he dia a wa kire ye enti blood sharing and corruption na ye bo ni din mpo eyewo ala na wo kire ye because through you know you know what is blood sharing. Through you know what is corruption. Say ye who ni mudia, yen to me PM free anoma. And to near man, what they train, ye knew who ni mudienti, and who didn't mean PM free anoma, and to this a wow tray. And was Adam, Bubo didn't tell and Adam Bobo near many didn't tell. And was Simon, Same Allah, me ye all knowing, me ye all wise, me ye all intelligent. I know what you guys don't know. More than impono number 1 dada. Enti What Casan Trony the chair above for him? Hey, me pacho, Miss Row. Miss Row. And you Ufi said, Bukuna when you have Jehon. Alana when you have been a within it in 2 feet and yet I never know dada. Above for him power to me a dada or water or Montro. Now walk. Above for him po, Allah at to me a cow Montro. Ada woman now walk. O copper 72 virgins edi. Wo wa ma wa de bi sen wa ham 2 feet as adie no. Wo de hu tokura to hotel that me wu a o kwa akofa ma akoma tokuru ma akoma 72. Ah yesa wo ho spare. Ah ya chen wo mo pavilions. Ah 72 no anso a na wo bowura pavilions ho. Na wasa akoto aso man ya chen bi wo pavilions ho. Na wakoto aso ho. What de di? Abofo ni mpo ala dada wo mo. Abofo ni mpo ala abo mo suriya. Wabubu ni mani dini akyere Adam. Abeye ne ho se de won kan hwe nkyere Adam. Ena wo ma Adam bubu dini kyere abofo no wo wie ya. Wasama Adam tumi wo manim wa ma Adam abeye superior over them. Enti abofo ne nkoto nsore ne ibisi se he. Dabra wo ala wo yare me koto sore kura nka megimi. Me nkoto nsore ne da. Eho ene shase na iblis se ho se wo wako so me ama me magira no because you have led me into error, because you have led me into error. I will do everything my possible best. I will lead this Adam na sifoni nyina do obako say. And guess what happened? Adam ewu Cain. Yeah, there be Cain and Abel, Adam the woman. Adam who Cain and Abel, and a Cain kokum Abel. Tieni, above one cancer, as a secretary, 1 year you said, ya obayano, Oba ya or more cause of corruption, sharing broad. Daring, Nana, alas, you don't know what I know. I know more than you do. So shut up. Omusi yakti wabo Adam ne madi enu awo wo no na causing of sharing of blood start here. Corruption there ala kire Adam already e wo paradise wo. And a sharing of blood, you know, ebe starting abera Adam and Eve be Cain and Abel. Enti abofo ne wo munim there ala ebe ye ananu wo munim. This is the God you call the creator. This is the God you call all-knowing. This is the God you call all-wise, all-intelligent, the most merciful, the most wisest God. Hey. And young one, why? This is a yellow one, you better margin at the edges. Because you're the attitude. Titiana identity or maybe Mamma Kobo video no or so can. One of the Muslim scholars all can the same thing. Why? Mama Kobono, you share a video. Mama, you share a video. Why? Okay. I think say we. Let me have the MC. Okay. If I'm chow video no. Me the video ne to one. Nah, my why? Video in that's one. Munya botrena muntie from the bean he to Jin. Story na wono so ba be kan why? Okay. Antino say oko o platform so now ti say wo mo say me kan sem bi say ya. Oya no aka tren say wo go video bi a one of your scholars in so kan. Why? Okay. Antino yan ko he sa video na afi. Yan to the media.
There was creatures on the earth. There was creatures on the earth. According to the Greeks and the Persians, they believed that before the creation of Adam alayhi salam, They were titans that used to live on the face of this earth. But what we Muslims believe, as Ibn Kathir says, that before the creation of Adam alayhi salam, before Allah created Adam alayhi salam, Allah the Almighty, He created creatures, Hinkind and Binkind. After praising the King of all kings, the Master of the Day of Judgment, the One, the Only, Allah Azza wa Jalla the Mighty, and sending salutations on the Imam of the Prophets, leader of the Prophets, the Messenger Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. O Muslims, many of you may have questions, and many Muslims do. Muslims who research, many emails I get, messages, WhatsApp, they ask about regarding that what happened before the creation of Adam alayhi salam. Before the creation of Adam alayhi salam. Yes, my brothers, there was creatures on the earth. According to the Greeks and the Persians, they believed that before the creation of Adam alayhi salam, they were titans that used to live on the face of this earth. But what we Muslims believe, as Ibn Kathir says, that before the creation of Adam alayhi salam, before Allah created Adam alayhi salam, Allah the Almighty, He created creatures, Hinkind and Binkind. And they lived on the earth. They caused corruption. They caused havoc. They caused bloodshed like no one has ever did. And they used to be such creatures. They were like jinns. They used to use their hands and feet, and they used to walk and crawl on the earth. They were strong and powerful. But when they start causing corruption, when they start causing havoc, Allah the Almighty, He sent the angels to deal with them. The angels descend. They come from the heavens and they destroy them one by one until they all scatter and run away. And then Allah the Almighty, He created Jinkind. The Jinkind, they lived on the earth. And they became the dominating group, nation on the earth. Binkind, Hinkind. They tried to fight the jinns, but the jinns overpowered them, so they all scattered all over the place. And from amongst them was none other than Iblis, who was from the jinn. And the jinns were created from smokeless fire. And Allah created them to worship Allah. They lived, and they lived a very long time. They could transform into animals. They could transform into snakes, into dogs. They could transform into humans. They could come into your thoughts. They could come into your sleep and come in the form of people in your dreams. Two people, Allah Azza wa Jalla the Mighty, created them from smokeless fire. This creation is such a creation that people in this day and age, they capture them and control them by using them and abusing them, by making them possess people. And this is how they do black magic. They use the jinns, or the shayateens, because they're evil, and their evil doing has given them the title shayateens. They use the shayateens to go around, possess people, destroy people's homes, cause arguments between husband and wife, cause doubt, cause corruption, and cause mischief amongst them.
You get it?
And the jinns, some are worshippers, some are Christians, some are Muslims, some are Hindus, but many of them even came to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and listened to the Quran when the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reciting. And inshallah, by the grace of Allah the Almighty, I will continue to talk about jinn and what they have done and how people use them to destroy people's lives. So till next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Abusiafo, me ba nchao samote the same story no. The same story no as Uncle Famekan no. And wamu Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Jabbar, Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Jabbar, edi abegu akwanso di amaye no. Ame edi aso TV no. I'm trouble. Enti Allah create being kind and him kind. They cause corruption, they share blood, they do all sorts of things. Na enye Allah nika. And will create jinn. And we mobile and we move to or massy. One of the also scatter, they all run away. And the way they run to know means Sankofa, I don't know. Later, jinn no be take dominion was as so. Almost so by also corruption, disaster. Ebi mba dani ya Christopher, ebi mba dani Kremofo, ebi mba dani ya Wosonsonfo, ebi mba diyewu. Ebi mbe dane black magic ni yekeka aka ho enti omo so fairly Allah no ena Allah create mankind ena mankind ne ba asasi so no omo so ba ye no this jinn no according to Sheikh here okasa ye no jinn no omo adani shaitan omo adani bonsam okay omo influence omo ama omo ye bone. And why do you think say Allah is not going to fail you as a Muslim? Why do you think say you dear Allah end to me emo Syria meanwhile wa born above Syria what the above one what the 6 adan wo 9 now as a believer just a believer you believing in him omo anu wo motia wo mo so no face to face, yes. If they worship Allah, what do you want to tell me? Media, me wa say me twe wa dwene e de agina bibi so. Me ni asa me be kire me twe wo wa dwene e de agina bibi so say what all these stories no a wo koken kai Quran Surah 2 ayat number 30 coming down. Now we will say Allah ebe create Adam. Above one busa ne question be. Na Allah katra above one say omonka omano tum na ono wani mu de che wo. Nani above one kan ne bem. Na dia Allah kan no amemu a na wo busa ho question. Is this Allah all knowing? Say ya katra wo say Allah a create abodi bi wa asase ani dada. Ansa na Adam Eva Nessa abodia no miensan to aso ni nyina no wo mo ye bone na ne botae ni se o create Adam ama Adam abetena asase so abaye papa na ono nso ba na boni adoso won asase ni abusa wo se ala wo feri ya na me wa hase me bie wa dwene me ma me kasa na nhye dan ko chiri me ya ye 2 hours video me mpese be wa bebre me di besia ye be se hia da foforo semre pa be mu a ye be se hia ye be continue na ya clear all these misconceptions no a ye die wura ye nua no mutirimo no awo ma die di se Allah ena ye the creator no ye be yi that misconception ni nyina firi o ma dwene because ne ye die atitu na ama wanye gidie wo Allah ani mo no eno ho na ye be bie wa dwene wo ho. It is up to you to tell the truth. It is up to you to know, say, no, what these guys are saying, you know, is very true. They are not lying. I don't need to pretend to be like, guys, you guys don't know anything. You guys are lying. Go and learn, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, within you, deep down, you know him said, yeah, can you correct? Deep down, you would him say, me sankofa metra in cantro. Something said to metra on cantro. Omo amakani na metra won kan sem bi mfa nkramosom no ho enni nkramosom ni. Deep down you know unim sir, but when you come on our show you pretend as if say whatever we are saying, you know, it is not written, and if it is written the interpretation we are bringing out we are bringing out, you know, is false. Meanwhile all content platforms were the same interpretation now the mind. Woni na mini anam kramofo na ya no mo yemobo omo ana ya na yemobo ye wo bi mu a omo betie de ye ka no omo nya abotre tie de ye ka no omo wi a no omakwe wo mu so ko scholars na wo mu gu social media no omo hwe wo mo de no omo de aye compare why na e ka no kore a sankofa kan say malam so and so ba the platform so be kan say nya na kore. And so Sassam we had the atitiment from Incorabem. And Sankofa any malam so and so one idiatro. Sankofa can send be there. I want a platform so. Ah, me and Casa metnasera, made the tones on Yeswa and fa. Now say malam so and so cofa the cotton on a platform so. And so can send for frobia. Between say and some more Sankofa can so. A womb, ya the atitiment, ya can't tell me, my dear D. Na malam so and so also dia kotena se na wo kasa de sankofa na se something se to kan nya na kore na wo pesa wo kire yen say no ne ye pesa ye wo wo mo kan ye kan na wa fansam ni mi na dia ton so ne so na wa dwendwene ho wo benya answer to yourself. Big up to you. Me da se e do be sia be ma me kasa na enko kire bebre why me da mase makramo wo mo join ye ni nyina me da mase mo mo share ni nyina me da mase mo be hwe na kire nyina nso me da mase de hia ne se o be share video no na afoforo nso nsa kan bi why wo betumi aforo me wo TikTok me be share se apostu me video so amaye ni nyina no e wo TikTok eye sankofa na kore no a edin no eye sankofa na kore wo betumi aforo me wo na me the video ne to nso a wo nsa beka wo ko YouTube nso a eye sankofa na kore wo betumi aforo me wo video we me free a me de beka akoto ubetumi ahwe no me a lot of videos mayano about Islam, teachings about Islam, mayano more than 3 years on social media, on Facebook, more than 3 years. And the videos in there a whole bunch. If you want to know anything about Islam, go and watch my videos on YouTube, Samson Seto on YouTube, Chip Chap CSF on YouTube. Now ubenya a lot of videos. Ube be working. Why? Mesdames, Macram.
Sheikh, Pacho, my question is, ye na yenim say incest, any defilement, enye. Na dentina Allah, efwa so Emma Muhammad, eye incest, at the same time was saying defilement. If says, this yes, akola no warrior no.
Number one, we will go away from the Quran, but I will answer you.
Number one, ayana sometimes yekeka assembly say komsheni eware CCS akwada, and it doesn't make sense. What read the Quran yepa? Quran Emma aware and number one person me catch say mijitum say ampa hadith no clear we any Quran mu. Why na ka asem no oba no ankasa ye ware no kae osi ye ware me ye beji ankasa ye osi ye beji me aware at the age of 6. Any yeshisha na ware ne ye ne party ni bibiara ede ne koma komsheni at the age of 9. Now the question is, ubisa me say waje akoda aware. So what who say you koje na ware at the age of 6. And now who say empire you are in the command at the age of 9. Me paucho what is akoda o su say ni kunu ebra no. Debi oteye. So one ti dia e fa ho ben. No. One tisa kwada because sa kwada ni kunu prano a aden na unko tu eho enya kwada na ka say abeware na the age of 6. Number one, in person in country of Biaman Fantona Dinimu say, our rear any age, Muntia mi our Quran nimuno. What be some question? Miss
Our rear any age, our Quran nimuno. And it's a Banonia 1 month to Kranoa. That's so called Scott as in an Ghana or Bejo Bano and Fanamano. Why? I will tell you what to the money. Or move it to me because Quran more point.
I was in a former church. No GDS will be a and there is a motive and can't check. Meshe Hopper, Duma 7 hours. I came about Suntina, motive and catches. Young boy, yet to tell one hair. Messerem, the pese mo in second video ya. Mo shaman a cat Jafal Muhammad and sa. You were massive kit to obey the man. Me pese yedika sheni video we are named in a massive dinner inti she video ni mame.
Nankenya Jimia, how can you worship 3 gods? You know, all Christians, right? Sameka, about 90% of them worship three in one God. Was it Nyame Eja or your boss sense you kron? Nankenya Jimia, how can you worship 3 gods? By saying all those 3 gods, they come together to be one. Ade woman sichewu. And I just say 1 + 1 + 1 and 2 + 1 ebe 1. Jimmy. Ye tremu nyansa mumpese mubesua. Ye tremu nyansa mumpese mubesua. Na nkenye Jimmy, how can you worship 3 gods? Jimmy. Ye tremu nyansa mumpese mubesua. Ye tremu nyansa mumpese mubesua.
Jafal Muhammad, my main cousin as a winchlow. I say, it seems, and Kramufua more Ghana. No, you guys are becoming unbecoming. Na the Etienne say, Monomoto will be a man, did you be a temo, more candy, more pebia, the true be our woman, Nama for Moody. Avram bi Moshe a video bi ena okan about near Muso ko komsheni Muhammad ne ye okofefe akora edo we no ka se ba bia wanyini endurui se wogye sa asem wi di na wodi a kire se wara wanka abo ansa kwa anka kwasea kamufo amwo Ghana nyina sore ama jimifo bi omode omotutu kwan abetena mbrochire mem ha omutu kwan still Jimmy no na ewu omumu wa Africa no daso omumu no eba life be ye video be kan kwase asem na Avram bi Moshe wo no o pass mu bi enti oba na moso wo mepa acha no be pa acha ɛno nkɔda wo Jafar Muhammad kuru yɛ no I think say one of the pastors maybe I think said Duncan Williams was saying make comment bi e wo na asore dem ma wo bo nkremu em say wo kan say me di fa nkremu som no ho wo Jafar Muhammad ba bontene be man e warning papa panyini be man wo Jafar Muhammad be man warning e ma think say papa na ba bontene be pa chan so ko chief imam fie kura sesen e pa cha wo say odono wo pa sumdue na che say isim say moya ma a Christopher Ghana ni suro mu because a Christopher de omono de omo pa sumdue Jafar Muhammad amen kan sa mi kire wo jimi wo man Ghana mu tutu ne ja wate ye no mo no na yan so ye Christopher se abusuafo nyina ye Christopher eni ya twe ho afri Christo so mu ni mu still ye abusuafo na bi da so ye Christopher ye ma me no mo da so ye Christopher enti so be gina bontin be making kwase comment we wo didi ye ma me no ye papa no matem wasie ni perform it se utimi gina ka kire obi se wa wo je nyame miense die bia wo ye ginifo
abusuafo ye be se hye bi makra no bye bye